Well, this is the second movie in a series where we're looking at Vectorworks drawings in the gCADPlus environment. We've used DXF Exchange to get the drawing in. I'd like to point out a number of differences. The first is that on the right over here are some of the symbols that Vectorworks use that have been translated. They come across as blocks, so we can select the Hutra block and say edit the block, and in we go into the block. I'll close it because clearly the name is not stored in the block. I'll close the editor. So there's a difference between the way we deal with blocks and names. On the other hand, if I select, say, a symbol here, one that's been assigned to what we call a GCP or plant data file, we've assigned that one. The name appears over here in the properties box on the left as EB Purple Queen, and we use that information in generating the plant list. Another thing to point out is that when we bring symbols into gCADPlus, we usually bring them in on layer 0. We bring them in with color set by layer, line type by layer, line weight by layer. We don't play with any of these settings, we just bring symbols in from the library. What that means is that because these symbols have all been made to a standard, you can go into the layers here and turn off the symbol layer and the symbols just disappear. Let's bring it back on. So it makes handling symbols quite easy. You can control the view in the layout with that. If we look at one of the Vectorworks symbols, you can see it's on a layer called None, and its name it's a block named Plant 45 centimeters, so it's a generic block. But if we go in here and edit the block, and we look at this here, it's got its line type set, and it's on a layer called None. A layer called None worries me quite a lot, but I guess that's part of the translation process into DXF. So you can see there's some big differences in the use of symbols. So the colored symbols on the left are the ones that we've added. So if I want this one here, which is I want to assign to a pittosporum, I just select it, say gCADPlus, set data to a plant, jump in here and go PITT, find, there's pittosporum there, and I say OK, and now if I select it, you can see it's been selected. So at this point I can go further in changing this drawing from a Vectorworks drawing into a gCADPlus drawing by doing that. So it's on a layer called 0. Now the other big thing that you will notice is if I turn line weights on, bang, the line weights go on, and you can see that every line or symbol that comes across from Vectorworks to gCADPlus already has a fixed line weight associated with it. Again, in the gCADPlus environment, with all the properties set just by layer, if I draw a line from here to here and exit, I can control the line weight of that line by whatever the line weight that's associated. That's on layer 0. So if I come up here and go to layer 0, the line weight's currently set at the default, but if I wanted to thicken it up a little, I could just choose it. So it becomes very easy to change line weights, and it's quite important to be able to do that as you move from one size sheet to another size sheet. I'm sure Vectorworks has its way of controlling that, but it does create a few problems for us in this environment. So you just need to be aware of it. One quick way to fix it would be to just come in here, select all the elements that came across, and say I'm going to control line type by, not line type, line weight, which varies. I'm going to control it all by layer, and some of ours, but not all, have gone back to the gCADPlus default, that one for the sake of argument. Because the block sets its line weights inside the block, we'd have to deal with it there. I'm not going to bother doing that because I'm replacing the Vectorworks blocks with gCADPlus blocks. So I hope that's some of the some guidance. I've got a layout called Landscape Design A2, and there's our drawing taking shape. I'll right click and go to Zoom Extents. We now have a logo down in the corner, site location prompts. I'll take the grid off, and just to see how we are doing, I'll go to File and Save as a PDF. This is a very quick way. It actually just makes an image file and turns that into a PDF. So I can pick Window and High Resolution, and we'll just compare the two. We'll compare left and right, left being the, I'll call that test, the gCADPlus information, and the information that's come across from Vectorworks on the right. So you can see that fairly heavy line and a finer line on the left. I'll just close from there and return to the drawing. You can control the line weight really quite easily by saying line weight, and I've got it set at 0.18. Let's bring it to say 0.09 and apply it, and we'll just do that very same Save as PDF print again, covering much the same area. And what you should see is some finer printing of the gCADPlus symbols versus the Vectorworks symbols on the right. So you can see some fine line work over here and heavier fine work line work there. So controlling line weights can certainly give you some grief. When you plot to a proper PDF writer like gCADPlus, you'll get much better results than you see here, but that save to PDF is a very good quick way of doing it.